Coming up on Mountain News this morning, experts give some advice on how to stay safe on the trails as the weather gets warmer, and people from across our region come out to secure the rights to bag a very big prize.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
6:30, it's Monday. Let me introduce myself to you. I'm Dakota Makris. I'm not new here. I just like to take time off here and there and, get COVID, but it's fine. As I was telling everyone, it could be worse. Other people have had it very, very worse than I have. Let's take it over to Brandon for a look at our forecast. Brandon, our director's already starting in my ear. Woo, happy Monday. Welcome back, Dakota. So
he did call you out for being the first person on this shift to have COVID.
Yeah.
So that's, I've always said we're all probably eventually going to get it, but hopefully we'll hold off for a little while longer for most of us. Anyway, let's get into the forecast this morning. We're going to continue to see again the showers and storms working their way across the region. We're going to continue to watch those for a little bit longer, but you're seeing back out to the west, we are going to be seeing drier conditions. So that's some good news for our western neighbors. Mountain Parkway, there's actually some traffic up there this morning. You can see the skies trying to clear a little bit. They're kind of in front of that rain band. It'll be moving through there before too long at the Wolf-Powell County line. Temperatures out there in the 50s and 60s. Clintwood down to 52 now, 64 in Prestonsburg, 66 in Somerset, 64 also in Monticello. Those are kind of some of our warmer temperatures out there this morning, but a lot of mid to upper 50s and low 60s out there. 75 this afternoon, the skies start to clear. Mainly clear skies tonight. We'll drop into the 50s for overnight lows. Dakota?
All right, Brendan, thank you. Well, 2 people died early Sunday morning after a head-on crash on US 25 East in Knox County. Well, that crash just happened after midnight in the Bimble community. Troopers discovered that 23-year-old Frederick Cody Carnes of Pineville drove in the wrong lane of traffic and hit head-on with a white Dodge Charger being driven by a 16-year-old. Both drivers were pronounced dead at the scene. A passenger in the white Charger, a 17-year-old girl, was flown to UT Medical Center in Knoxville, but her condition is unknown. A third car was hit trying to avoid the crash, but the driver was not hurt. KSP troopers are investigating a death after a man in Rowan County was swept away by high waters. Troopers say 80-year-old Eddie Thomas was trying to cross a flooded area in a UTV when the vehicle became stuck. Officials say he was swept away in the water. Thomas was found but later died in a hospital. A hiker needed to be rescued from the Red River Gorge on Friday after his dog bumped into him on a steep portion of the Cloud Splitter Trail, causing him to fall. The dog was not hurt, but the hiker hurt his ankle and finger. The Wolf County Search and Rescue team responded and put the man's ankle in a splint. The team packaged the patient in a leader and safely took him to his car, where he drove himself to a hospital. In a Facebook post from the Wolf County Search and Rescue, the crew thanked bystanders who happened to be physical therapists for helping with the rescue. Well, this spring, the Kentucky Department of Fish and Wildlife is reminding people to leave young wildlife alone. Officials say while it may feel like you are helping the animal by rescuing it, deer, rabbits, and other species of wildlife often leave their young for extended periods of time each day. If you discover a young mammal or bird, you should not handle it, and you should keep children away and pets away from it. Staying away will reduce the animal's stress and increase the likelihood the mother will return to it. Well, as the weather starts to warm up, many of us will want to enjoy outdoor activities, but when it comes to hiking, park officials and search and rescue workers are reminding everyone how you can stay safe when you hit the trails. Public Information Officer with the Wolf County Search and Rescue team, Drew Stevens, says there are several safety tips or steps you should take before leaving the house. He says before you head out to the nearest trail, you must plan ahead, from snacks to clothing. Thinking ahead can save you from multiple problems later on.
Know your route ahead of time. Know where you're going. Bring navigational tools such as a GPS app on your phone and a map and compass. Bring extra water. Bring extra layers. Bring maybe a battery to charge your phone so that your phone's available in the case of an emergency.
Well, Stevens adds that if you face an emergency while on a trail, even if you don't have service, most cell phone providers will still let you call 911. But it's important to provide dispatchers with an accurate description of where you are, where you began the trail, and where you parked your car. For the first time in nearly 20 years, Johnson Central High School will start a football season without Jim Matney. The late head coach of the Golden Eagles died from COVID-19 in September, But as John Lowe explains, his career was celebrated Sunday night among the Commonwealth's sporting legends.
For years, Jim Matneys' career at Sheldon Clark and Johnson Central has been described as legendary. But from now on, his career will be known as a Hall of Fame one.
You know, with what the KHSAA did for him today is pretty fitting.
Matney was one of 17 to be inducted into the KHSAA Hall of Fame on Sunday.
He worked so hard to succeed, and not only succeed in sports, but also to succeed in contributing to the community and making everybody feel welcomed into the community. And he was just such a good worker, such a good winner.
A man that brought championships and a winning attitude to Johnson Central, but he is most remembered as a father figure.
He was family man first and foremost. We waited a long time to have kids, and when we finally did, they were the first thing in his mind. The first thing in the morning is the first thing he thought of, the last thing he thought of in the evening, and everything he did, you know, he had his family in mind. To have my kids see that, I think they, you know that, oh, it's not just success that makes you that happen. It's being good to people and being a kind person and being accepting to people.
A man who is proud of his home, passing on so many other opportunities outside of the mountains.
If it wasn't in Eastern Kentucky, he wouldn't even consider it. He was just, they're not, you know, we don't have to. We can stay right there with our homegrown people and win, and he did.
A winner and a defender for the Eastern Coalfields.
Coach Matney was a fighter for the mountains. He would fight a sawmill for his people. And his people wasn't just Johnson County, his people wasn't just Martin County, his people wasn't just Pike County, but it was all of Appalachia.
We are who we are. We're boys from the mountains, from the hollows, from the small towns.
In Lexington, John Lowe, WYMT Mountain News.
Well, Jim Matney was not the only person from the mountains to be honored yesterday. Laura Lou Golden, the first woman official in Kentucky high school sports, was inducted in the KHSA AA Hall of Fame. The Harlan County native was a basketball official along with her husband from 1960 until 1962. She died last year. Her son accepted the honor. Well, Mother's Day may be behind us, but that doesn't stop one group from continuing to celebrate. The Ashland, Kentucky Moms Club hosted a Moms conference during the weekend. They hosted speakers and local vendors from all across the area. There were talks about mental health, foster parenting, car seat safety, and more, as well as jewelry stands, florists, bookshops, and other shops dedicated to helping out mothers.
To see everybody actually utilize this information that we're giving them. I'm excited to see what this does for the community. We plan to make it an annual event, so hopefully next year we'll have more speakers and we'll have more vendors, and yeah, we're just hoping to build every single year.
Well, the goal of the conference was to get moms and kids active in the community and make connections with neighbors across the region. May is Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month, and in honor of this, one Whitesburg woman wanted to share her Japanese heritage with Eastern Kentucky in a fun and engaging way. Development Director for Apple Shop, Catherine Byrne, coordinated the first Whitesburg Japanese Bon Ordi Festival, which included a live drumming performance and workshop from the Orlando-based group Matsuritsu, traditional Japanese dancing, and other activities that honor and celebrate Japanese culture.
I just want to make sure that, everybody knows that everybody's welcome here in Eastern Kentucky and in Whitesburg and Letcher County, and just because you may think that things are different here, we're all the same, and we all have different life experiences, and we can learn from one another.
Well, she adds that Apple Shop plans to host more events in the future that will help highlight and introduce other cultures to Eastern Kentucky. Well, hunters were out in bunches hoping to secure their very own elk tags in Floyd County during the weekend. WYMT's Jordan Mullins has more.
Welcome everybody to the Elk Hunt Draw.
On Saturday, the 2022 Elk Hunt Draw was held at the Mountain Arts Center, and hunters were hoping to hear their names called, securing their tags for the hunt of a lifetime.
Braxton Blankenship.
And when names are called, the Kentucky Elk Guides Association, a local nonprofit, is helping hunters along their journeys.
When you get to experience that with them, some of them are overwhelmed and you get to help them out. Then you get to see the end effect of it, you know, when they do harvest an elk. You're there and get to see their happy side of it.
Along with guides, folks are also out enjoying vendors of all kinds.
We got vendors here. You can get you some popcorn and a cold pop to drink if you want to. And then we've got guides and different vendors here that are here promoting their products and promoting Kentucky elk.
Elk that were introduced 25 years ago and are now in 16 counties across the region.
You're talking about an honor. You're hunting probably one of the most majestic animals in North America.
Aaron Schwartz,
boosting tourism in the area by drawing in those looking to bag a trophy elk.
There are going to be tens of thousands of people that are going to have the opportunity to come over here and experience what this wild elk herd is, but they're also going to get to share the beauty of Eastern Kentucky.
Promoting Appalachia and the wildlife that calls it home. In Prestonsburg, Jordan Mullins, WYMT Mountain News.
Well, Storm says when dealing with conservation efforts, 25 years is not a very long time, but this year's milestone is an example of the hard work done by the founding fathers of Kentucky elk reintroduction. Storm also said there were nearly 95,000 entries in this year's drawing.
6:41 and the rain is coming down here on the Hazard Studios. We're looking at some showers and storms moving through Pikeville. Just got a report from a viewer that's thundering and lightning over that way this morning, and it's just heavy rain coming through in bands here right now. So if you're basically east of Hazard, east of Hyden, east of Harlan, you're going to be seeing some pretty good rain for the next little bit, so be aware of that as we head to the morning. Temperatures not taking much of a hit with this rain. Down to 61 actually right there in Williamsburg in the last little bit. 59 in, actually that might be up a little bit in Williamsburg. 59 Middlesboro, 60 in Harlan, 61 here in Hazard, 63 Prestonsburg, Pikeville, 53 though in Clintwood, 64 over toward Logan, and 59 now in Irvin and in Moorhead to start your day off. Again, heavy rain. Couple of spots a little cooler than it was this. Actually, nobody's cooler now, but everybody, some areas like Middlesboro and Jackson, exactly where they were yesterday, like Ashland too. Most folks a little bit warmer this morning. Breakfast forecast: we are going to be seeing again possibilities for that rain to hang around through about 7 or 8 o'clock, and then it should slowly start to move out of our region into Virginia and West Virginia. Dakota.
All right, Brendan, thank you so much. It's 6:42 when we come back here on Mountain News this morning. North Korea faces a dire situation as more positive COVID-19 cases are reported across the country. It's next.